Hello and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show on BT Sport. Well, there's never a dull moment in the fifth tier of English football. And this week we've seen a change of leadership in the table, one managerial departure, one managerial suspension. And let's not forget Dover finally getting their first win of the season. In fact, it's their first win in almost a year. So let's start our roundup at the top of the table with Tom Skippings.
Stockport moved to the summit for the first time this season thanks to their midweek win over Maidenhead, but the signs are they're ready to make themselves comfortable. On the stroke of half-time, Will Collar continued his hot streak for County, and after the break, a Barnet side without a win in 4 was swatted aside. Ryan Johnson nodded in his first league goal on his first league start for Stockport. And when Liam Hogan made it 3-0, the visitors had reached their half-century of league goals for the season. Their superb travelling support loved every minute, and perhaps the 91st minute most of all, Connor Jennings with his third league goal since cancer treatment last year. In this ruthless, relentless mood, Stockport wouldn't settle for that. Another close-range finish gave Johnson his second and County their fifth. It's now 9 straight wins in all competitions, and they'll take some stopping. Boreham Wood were unbeaten at home this season. Kings Lynn had lost 7 straight on the road, so you can guess the rest. 12 minutes in, Michael Clunan thought he'd given Lynn a shock lead. But when he was denied, the visitors didn't panic, and with a clever flick, Malachi Linton did the honours instead. Perhaps the goal came a little too early for a team who hadn't managed a league clean sheet so far. Just before half-time, Josh Rees maintained that record from James Comley's cross. And after the break, the relative form of these two teams started to show. Rees had scored the midweek winner at Halifax, and he pounced again here to put the Wood in front. A 16th game unbeaten in all competitions was beyond doubt once Tyrone Marsh struck thanks to a helpful deflection. Now Boreham Wood can focus on Bournemouth in the FA Cup 4th round next weekend. After that Tuesday night setback at the Shea, Halifax faced another test in East London. Dagenham's midweek defeat to Stockport was their only one in 7 games, but they were on the back foot once Matty Warburton struck. And just before half-time, he should have scored again from much closer range. Instead, his header against the post proved the perfect assist for Billy Waters, his 12th league goal of the season. Only Stockport could match the home side's goal tally before today, and they were back in it when Matty Robinson headed home. But the equaliser wouldn't come, and instead Waters settled things Halifax's way in the last minute. The first win by the away side in this fixture since April 2004. It's been quite a week for Bromley, with boss Andy Woodman resisting Gillingham's advances, and now 3 straight victories. Like the other 2, this one included a goal from Jude Arthurs.
Yep, good win for Bromley there, but let's start by talking about Stockport County, Aaron and Adam, because this is unbelievable. They've won 9 of the last 10 games, scored 30 and only conceded 2. Adam, are they just showing their dominance right now in the National League?
Well, we talk about Eastleigh with the managerial appointment next. That could certainly happen for them. Dave Challoner coming in, for me, was the perfect appointment, and he has shown his quality as a National League manager time and time again. They are the team to beat now. I had Chesterfield at the start of the season, but since Dave's come in, the run has been absolutely brilliant, and another fine performance from them.
It's so tight at the top of the table, isn't it?
It is tight, but like Adam said, that Stockport are really the team to beat now. And I had Stockport to win the league at the beginning of the season. I wasn't expecting Dave Challoner. I wasn't expecting Challoner to come in, but I'm glad that he has, because it just makes me look like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it certainly does. Well, something's got to make you look like that, hasn't it? But look, Boreham Wood, they did it the hard way, came from behind, but Josh Rees with the brace, adding to his goal tally. How much of a key player is he for Boreham Wood?
He's been massive. He's been massive, and he makes that late run into the box, that Frank Lampard run, they like to call it, and he's now got double figures for the season. Obviously 2 today to go with his 1 in midweek, and he's really a key player for them. And a player that they really need to stay in form.
Well, they play the two in midfield, and they kind of need someone in that midfield area that Aaron's talking about. You've got Mendy and Smith on both sides being the wing-backs. And when you've got that late runner into the box, as Josh Reese has done time and time again, when we saw at Bromley and what he's done for Boreham Wood as well, his goals can be really, really important if they're going to push for the title this season.
Well, Boreham Wood have got games in hand as well. Let's not forget that. If they win all of those, they're going to be up there.
They will be. The performance we saw against Halifax during the week, it was a solid professional performance. Luke's got them going really, really well. There's experience in that side, which will go very, very far.
Well, speaking of Halifax, they managed to bounce back today. Billy Waters amongst the goals here. Halifax were pleased with that, weren't they?
They'll be over the moon because they were a team that it could almost go the wrong way. It could go the way that it's gone for Grimsby or Dagenham, where they lose a few games and start to slip away. They've made sure that they've gone to one of their challenges in Dagenham and gone and got the 3 points and well beat as well. You know, Billy Waters now 13 goals for the season.
I think that's the most he scored in a season.
Yeah, he's having a season of his life, and you know, he looks like he's enjoying his football. Him and Warburton have got a really, really good partnership together, and they're reaping the benefits from it.
You can never rule out Pete Wild either, can you?
He's been brilliant. So we speak highly of National League managers at this level. For me, he's outstanding. The jobs that he's done on a tight budget. You lose Earing, you lose King, you lose key players in his side, and he's got to recruit every single season. He's got to get it right. And Billy Waters, for me, is a real key signing for them. Started the season well, and it's just pleasing to see that he's back on the scoring sheet again.
Certainly is. Well, let's move on to Wrexham now. Flexing their financial muscle once again this week. Ollie Palmer joining for £300,000. Only took him 36 minutes to open his account for the Welsh side, but 3 points separated Wrexham and the top of the table. Could a win move them further up? Chris Ford has got more.
The last time these two met, there was a red card that turned out to be mistaken identity. Paul Mullen, the man who avoided being dismissed that day, not this time as he saw red after just 4 minutes. Despite the man disadvantage, Wrexham took the lead. Ben Tozer with another long throw assist. Aaron Hayden rose highest to score his 5th of the season. The 10 men held on until time added on, and Sean Mikulski stole a share of the points just days after signing for Maidenhead. Wealdstone aren't enjoying their time on the road at the moment, losing their last 4, and they fell behind 11 minutes before the break, with Waterfall claiming this one. The Stones were 2 down just after the break, a familiar face coming back to punish them, Michi Afete scoring against his old side. Jamie Maskell pulled one back in spectacular style thanks to Danny Amos' error, but the comeback ended there. Andrew Dallas simply won't want January to ever end. It took the Solihull striker just 18 minutes to score his 10th of the month. Altrincham hadn't won in their last 11 in League and Cup, and any hopes of an unlikely comeback were dealt a major blow when Kevin Burko was sent off 4 minutes after going behind. Predictably, the Moors ran riot after that. Jamie Osborne, back in the starting 11 after being benched midweek, grabbed his 2nd of the season. Dallas adding an assist to his mounting goal tally. The red-hot striker didn't have to wait long to find the net again, making it 3-0 on 34 minutes. And there was still time for another before the half-time whistle. Harry Boyes doing all the hard work before leaving it for Callum Maycock to supply the finish. Solihull home and hosed inside 45 minutes. They took their foot off the gas in the second half and didn't add a 5th until the 81st minute. Ryan Barnet with his 1st of the season. A miserable day for Altrincham got even worse as they finished the match with 9 men. Matty Costello seeing red. Solihull have won their last 3, scoring 12 and conceding none.
Yeah, we'll get to that Solihull Altrincham performance later on. But let's start talking about Wrexham here, because red cards, we need to address this. Paul Mullen, 4 minutes he got sent off. And Wrexham have got the 2nd most red cards in the division so far. Do they need to work on discipline here?
They will do, yeah, because they'll become real key stages of the season where you'll end up costing points and losing games of football. And listen, I think when you go down to 10 minutes so early on in the game, then it's always going to be, whoever you play against, it's always going to be an uphill battle. But they managed to find themselves to get a point. But listen, he'll be a big loss for them, and that's the main thing about it. That I know they brought Palmer in, but he's been outstanding this season.
Well, they had to play 80 minutes with 10 men, and they are dropping points.
They are, and I think this is the 3rd occasion where they've had a red card early in the game. Those 2 previous occasions, they've gone on to lose the game. So today, to actually get a point out of it, they've done better than previous, but they'll be disappointed because they'll be looking at these games and games that they want to be picking up 3 points. You're looking at your Stockports and your Halifaxes. They're winning games. They need to be doing the same.
Well, somebody else that got back to winning ways today was Grimsby. I'm sure that's going to be a relief. Their 3rd win in 13 games. Are they still in with a shout?
I think it'll be tough. I do personally. I think it's a difficult season for Paul. He's been under a lot of pressure. I think the consistency's not been there this season for them, and this was a banana skin game for them. Losing at home to Wealdstone would have been a poor result for them. I think the pressure would have certainly been on them, but it was a huge result for them. I mean, listen, they've still got a chance, of course they do, but from what I've seen of them this season, I do think there are better sides in the division.
Erin, are you counting them out?
I'm not counting them out. I don't think they're going to win it. I think that playoffs is going to be the route that they'll go up here if they're to go up this year. But for me, they just haven't had that consistency. And I think having McAtee, he gives them the X factor, but it's whether or not they can keep him fit and make sure that he stays on the pitch, because he's been in and out this year for different reasons.
Well, I promised you a shout on Solihull Moors. 5-0 today. All right, Altrincham 9 men at the end of that game, but Andrew Dallas back amongst the goals again.
Yeah, no, brilliant. So he had a good run during the week, didn't he, with the goals that he scored. Neil's side have been consistent. They're hard to play against, decent at home, and there will be a side with his experience that he's got as a manager to certainly be making the playoffs. All
right, well, coming up after the break, we are going to turn our attention to the big game that's been here. Eastleigh versus Chesterfield. 2 teams with 2 caretaker managers in charge. So we're going to get into that. There's also plenty more when we return, so don't go anywhere. Come join us. Well, welcome back to the Vanarama National League highlight show. Now, we mentioned at the top of the show that it had been a dramatic week in the league, which started on Monday when Chesterfield released a statement saying that their manager, James Rowe, had been suspended pending an investigation into alleged misconduct. Well, there was just as much drama here at Eastleigh as well, deciding to end their time with manager Ben Strevens after 3 years in charge. A fascinating, truly fascinating build-up to this match. The Spitfires looking to restart this season with the Spyrites. Well, they're just trying to save theirs. Watching for us were Kevin Davis and Adam Somerton.
Barnet at the back of that queue. Boyce is one of those up there too, a threat from set pieces. And it's just been kept out, that almost on the line by Loach. The little flick at the near post almost paid off. McDonnell, and they could concede here, and Maguire with the shot. Well held onto that by the goalkeeper, either side of him though, and surely it's 1-0.
Yeah, probably the best chance of the game there. Falls kindly to him, left foot as well. Just needs a bit more conviction and belief in the finish.
Hollands. Harper, nice combination play there, as Hollands with the cross in. It was a great delivery. And it was Tyrone Barnet on the end of it. Lovely cross that from Danny Hollands.
Holland finds himself on this left-hand side with an overlap. We don't see that too often. Plenty of time, not enough pressure on the cross there, and there's Tyrone Barnet. He'll be disappointed.
As Hill plays in the cross here, looking for Pritchard. It will run for Harper. Barnet and Pritchard in the middle. Into his right foot, he's hit it really well. Very close there.
Probably nestled in that bottom corner there. It's a good save from Loach on his weaker foot. Good strike, good save.
It's over towards Smith. Oh, and Hare was there too. And it's a corner. That was an opportunity for Hare, as his reaction suggests.
Just bounces inside the 6-yard box. You almost want the goalkeeper to come and take care of that.
Weston with the ball forward, and Shimanga from a tight angle. Well, maybe was caught in 2 minds there with Asante on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, you see the disappointment on his face there. I think he did have him get caught in 2 minds. He wants to shoot there, and in the end, he had Asante, Mandeville to pick out. Did neither.
Quality needed from Mandeville. It's not a bad ball. And it came out to Weston! What a hit! Sublime strike from Curtis Weston. He could hardly have hit that any better. And Chesterfield might just have snatched this right at the end. A Western wonder strike has won it for the Spirites.
Jason, cruel blow at the end there. Did you feel like you'd done enough for the point?
Just about. I think we didn't threaten too much in the second half, but I think in terms of the discipline of the players and the shape and what we set out to do, it looked like it had worked. And a kick in the teeth at the end, which is really disappointing.
Is that the perfect outcome for you? I mean, what a lift given the 7 days you've had, and that'll carry you into the next week, won't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think in a way it's handy. We haven't got a Tuesday game, so the boys can have a breather mentally and regroup as we all can and build towards Dagenham, which will be a tough game. But yeah, to come here and 0-0 wouldn't have been the worst result in the world. They're strong. They've just set their manager there. I thought there was a little bit of a reaction today from Eastleigh. They were dangerous from crosses and set pieces, etc. But I'm sure that will breed confidence, as you say, after a difficult week.
How pleased were you with the performance?
Absolutely delighted, and that's why I say it's an absolute killer for the players, for everyone around the place really. But you know, all we asked for them was if they can come in at the end of the game and look each other in the eye and say they've given everything. That's all we could ask today, and they've done that.
Yeah, you can definitely understand Jason Bristow's disappointment there. But Curtis Weston, Aaron, we've got to start there. Credit where it's due. What a strike. An
unbelievable strike. And any striker would be happy with a strike like that. The balance, the technique, everything about it was sublime. And it's a goal that deserved to win the game. And luckily for him, it did.
Yeah, Adam, you were talking about the technique involved in something like this.
It's the anticipation to be on the edge of the box to play for that second phase of the second ball. I thought it was a decent header out originally, and I thought they defended it well, but until it went to him, strikes it absolutely brilliantly. The technique is there not to hit the ball too hard, uses the laces, and the body shape is absolutely brilliant. And they had to work hard for that goal. And you know, how big that goal could be at the end of the season, only time will certainly tell. But I thought his performance throughout the game was excellent. I thought he controlled the midfield really, really well, and the experience was valuable.
Yeah, does that say a lot about these players' mentality? Because that 3 points has moved them second in the table when the pressure was really on today.
Yeah, the pressure was on, but we said before that players like Curtis Weston are going to be key. You know, those experienced players have to galvanise that dressing room, have to hold that dressing room together. So it's no surprise that it's Curtis Weston who pops up with that important goal. And you can't continuously rely on Shamanga to always be the goal scorer. Other people have to chip in. Weston's chipped in today with an absolute priceless goal. And I don't agree with Webb in saying that a 0-0 would have been a good result. They've travelled a long, long way, and things are really tough at the moment. That 3 points will be huge, and the coach journey back will be a much happier place now.
Well, you could see how disappointed Eastleigh were, the players were coming off the pitch. They thought they'd done enough today to get something from this game. Where are we left with Eastleigh right now?
Well, the managerial appointment's going to be absolutely crucial. That's coming in next. You know, Neil Smith has been spoken about. You've got the experience at this level. You could maybe go a little bit left field. Adam Hinchelwood, who's down at Worthing, who's sort of just down in the Isham Premier. But someone like him who could maybe come in, knows the South East really, really well, has worked well on a tight budget. Do they go a little bit left field, or do they go for experienced National League manager to come in and try and take this club forward? But again, we spoke about the lack of goals that they've got, and today was proven for that.
Yeah, well, no joy for Eastleigh fans today, but there was rare joy for Dover fans in the midweek. They got their first win of the season, the first one of the year. Although their time in the National League is still looking a little bit ominous. Richard Newman reports.
It would take the miracle of footballing miracles for Dover to avoid dropping into National League South, but after that rarest of wins this season, they started confidently against informed Southend. Michael Gayassi with a few twists and turns in the box. His finish didn't match the close control. Southend went into this in their best run of form this season, and they went ahead in the second half when a clearance from a corner only found Noor Hussain, the Afghanistan international, with a well-struck volley in his third appearance since signing from Dartford earlier this month. Moments after, Dover nearly claimed an equaliser when Kobe Arthur's shot from range hit the post. Dover stranded at the bottom, but Southend are on their best unbeaten league run since the 2016-17 season. Heading into their game at Woking, Yeovil's run of 4 straight defeats was their worst since returning to the National League, but Charlie Wakeford got the early goal to settle their nerves. A fine finish after he was sent clear by Morgan Williams. They were going to make it difficult for themselves though. Mark Little was sent off with around half an hour to go for collecting a second yellow card for a foul on Ini Effiong. That was their 6th red card of the season, more than any of their league rivals. Woking this week lost top scorer Tavon Campbell, who's moved to Rochdale, and they missed his finishing touch as they piled on the pressure. Effiong had a difficult chance from a tight angle and fired into the side netting. Yeovil had their backs against the wall, and Jamal Loza went close to finding an equaliser when he fashioned some space for himself, but saw his effort deflected wide. Yeovil held on to record their 3rd win over Woking this season and their first victory this year. Luck's not going the way of struggling Weymouth, and against Aldershot they conceded a stoppage time goal. Substitute Brandon Goodship could only put the ball into the back of his own net. A 9th defeat from 10 for Weymouth, and the shots moved further clear of the bottom 3.
Well, a good win for Aldershot there. Dover brought back down to reality, potentially, after their midweek win. But Southend, they are creeping up the table a little bit now, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin's gone in there. I think he didn't get the results in terms of 3 points with the performances when he first came in. But there's a real identity about them now. And he's gone in there with Darren Curry. And there's a bit more stability now on the field, which is really, really important for them. And you can only credit the job that he's done. And if he keeps them up, then he could be on for manager of the season, in my opinion.
OK, well, that's a shout. We'll hold you to that. Unbeaten in the last 5 games, though, Aaron. Momentum's with them.
I actually think it's the last 6 games now. I think it's the last 6 games, and he's done a magnificent job there. You know, he's really got the lads going. They've got 4 out of the last 6 wins, and now all of a sudden they're playing with a real enthusiasm, a real energy about them, and they're getting points on the board. And that's the biggest thing, because when he first went in, you know, it was all doom and gloom. He's totally lifted that cloud, and now they can look forward to better times.
There you go. You've done your research. That's why they pay you the big bucks, isn't it? Yeovil, though, ending a run of 4 defeats, Adam. They're going to be happy. Yeah,
definitely. It's never easy going to Woking. Despite losing Campbell, I think that's going to be a big loss for them within that final third. Those players are difficult to replace. So, listen, you get those inconsistencies with Yeovil, but yeah, a big 3 points for them.
Well, let's see what it's done to the National League table. The results from this afternoon, and Stockport County showing their dominance, top of the National League. They went there Tuesday, they managed to maintain it today, but look how close it is. There's only 6 points that separate the top 7 sides there. Chesterfield, the 3 points here, and the last-minute winner there, that has moved them to 2nd, but equal on points with FC Halifax and Bromley. Bottom of the table, well, Dover are definitely still adrift there on -5. Kings Lynn and Weymouth, Wealdstone as well, slightly in the danger zone. And Eastleigh, after losing today, they stay 14th in the table. Now, don't forget, we are back. We've got a week off, but then we're back. Saturday, the 12th of February, we've got more live Vanarama National League action for you. We're going to head to Surrey, where Southend United travel to face host Woking. That is a tea-time kickoff on BT Sport 1 HD, so make sure you get that in your diary, and do please join us. Gentlemen, Adam, Aaron, thank you very much for your company. Always great to hear your insights. Thank you very much for watching, and we will catch you next time. Have a good one.